Morning, Joan.
Good morning, Mr. Perrin.
22 minutes late. Escaped Puma, Chessington North. Right. I don't know whether you noticed then, Joan, but I grabbed you this and kissed you.
I did notice, Mr. Perrin.
You don't mind?
I find you very attractive, Mr. Perrin.
Yes, of course. But the point... No. The point is, Joan, I'm married to Elizabeth. You're married to Tony. This is my office. You're my secretary. And it isn't normal, even in the late 1970s, for bosses to come in on Monday mornings, grab their secretaries and... is it?
Well, you told me last week, Mr. Perrin, that you didn't want to go on and on being more and more successful. You were tired of being a rich, powerful tycoon, and you were going to destroy your image by behaving eccentrically and by shocking people.
Yes, I did.
Well, therefore, I'm not at all surprised when you start behaving eccentrically. I'd have been far more surprised if you'd sat at your desk and said, "Dictation time, Joan."
Yes, I see.
Of course, if you want to shock people, you ought to kiss me in front of Tony or Elizabeth.
I will. Thank you, Joan. I'll do that. Yes, yes. In any case, I have a very good opportunity to shock people. I've been invited to give an exclusive interview on BBC One, ITV, or BBC Two.
Oh, but that's wonderful,
Yes,
Mr. Perrin. Which have you decided to give an exclusive interview on?
I've decided to give an exclusive interview to all three, Joan.
Good evening, and welcome to this edition of Pillock Talk. Less than 3 years ago, Reginald Perrin opened a shop called Grot in the dreary London suburb of Climthorpe. In its window was a sign which said all the articles sold in this shop are guaranteed useless. Reginald Perrin now has his own factory, almost 60 Grot shops in Britain and on the continent, and last Friday he announced record profits. Reginald Perrin, you sell useless goods?
Yes, utterly useless, yes. Cruet sets with no holes, checkbooks for the Dogger Bank, tins of melted snow, self-lowering flour, all that sort of thing, all utterly useless.
So you're a con man?
Good heavens, no, of course not. I always announce very clearly that the items I sell are useless, yes. Con men don't usually go around wearing a sandwich board saying, "Look out, I'm a con man," do they? No. No, I'm providing a valuable social service.
Mr. Perrin, are you trying to tell me that you're providing a valuable social service?
No.
You said you were.
Exactly. I'm not trying to tell you, I'm succeeding. If I'd said I like squashy bananas, I would have been failing to say I am providing a valuable social service. But I didn't say I like squashy bananas, I said I am providing a valuable social service, thus succeeding brilliantly in saying I am providing a valuable social service.
In what way are you providing a valuable social service?
Well, for one thing, people like to leave useless objects lying around the house. It shows they can afford to spend large sums of money on useless objects.
Large sums of money? So you admit that your prices are high?
No, that's not the word I'd use.
What word would you use, Mr. Perrin?
Exorbitant. Would you say the goods I sell are shoddy?
Yes, I would.
Yes, so would I, yes. Quite agree. Yes, wouldn't you say people think, "Good, what a liberty, I could have made that for 10p.
Yes.
Yes. Wouldn't you say that gives them a warm feeling of superiority over the makers?
Yes, I suppose so.
Yes. Wouldn't you say that was providing a valuable social service?
Mr. Perrin, I ask the questions here.
Tell me, Pillock, do you think it is Pillock, is it not? Yes. Tell me, do you think it is a healthy situation at Pillock? A healthy situation in that's a funny name. In a free country that you should have the right to ask all the questions?
Well, of course I do. I'm the interviewer.
Tell me, Pillock, when... Can't get over this point. Why did you take up interviewing?
Well, you see, as a child, I was rather sickly. I had these weak lungs. So the doctor suggested that I took up television interviewing.
I see.
And Reginald Perrin, thank you. And now a man who farms worms. Yes, worms.
Good morning, Mr. Perrin.
I just wanted the details of the Amsterdam contract.
Amsterdam contract in the file mark Paris.
Yes, got it, thanks.
Darling, you may not have noticed I'm kissing Joan.
Yes, I did notice, darling. See you at lunchtime.
Don't you mind?
Well, it's one of your little games, Reggie. Shocking people is one of the things you do.
But you don't you mind?
Oh, you don't mean it. I mean, you wouldn't do it in front of me if you meant it, so why should I mind?
But darling, Joan, please. Darling, I mind that you don't mind.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you mind that I don't mind. Now, I must rush if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
At thought you were very good on television last night, Mr. Perrin.
Good?
Well, he thought he'd make you look ridiculous, but you certainly put him on the spot when you said you saw the whole thing as a social service.
Yes, I suppose I did.
You were really a great success.
Was I? Well, we soon put a stop to that. You watch me tonight on ITV.
Good evening. Quite a storm was caused by our common market discussion on the world tomorrow today yesterday. And we'll be returning to the subject on the world tomorrow today tomorrow. But today, we have the mastermind behind Grot. The man who is to useless rubbish what Hans Christian Andersen is to mermaids. Reginald Perrin. How did you first get this extraordinary idea for Grot?
Well, this is the age of built-in obsolescence, Mr. Honeydew. I just built it a bit further in. Yes, the things I sell are obsolete before you even buy them. But I'd like to go a bit further. Ideally, I would like to sell goods that fall to pieces in the shop. What a gift to capitalism that would be. Oh, dear, it's fallen to pieces. I'll have another. Certainly, sir. Oh, dear, that one's fallen to pieces too. I'll have another. And so on.
And yet you regard your shops as a social service?
No.
But you've gone on record as saying that.
Ah, yes, that was yesterday on Pillock Talk BBC One, which you asked me not to mention.
Yes, well, you did agree to...
Pillock Talk BBC One, you asked me not to mention.
Yes, well, you agreed to appear...
BBC One, you definitely asked me not to mention.
Yes, well, you agreed to appear exclusively for us. You didn't tell us you were appearing on Pillock Talk BBC One yesterday.
I didn't tell Pillock Talk BBC One yesterday I was appearing on the World Tomorrow today.
Yes, but you appeared on that first.
Yes, well, I'm telling you different things. I must give you value.
No,
Yes?
Anyway, the viewers don't want to hear us squabbling, do
Oh,
they?
yes, they do. It's a lot more interesting than listening to the reorganisation of local government boundaries. That's boring. Yes, take my advice, viewers. When I finish, switch over to BBC Two. There's a Swedish film on there about a horse knacker's daughter from Uppsala whose hobby is taking off her clothes. Mr. Perrin. Sorry.
So, when you said your shops were a social service, you were lying.
Yes, I'm a congenial liar.
Don't you mean a congenital liar?
No, congenial. I'm enjoying myself. To tell you the truth, Sherry, do you mind if I call you Sherry? No. To tell you the truth, I started the whole thing off as a joke. I'd spent a quarter of a century in puddings and I was feeling a trifle stifled. So I decided to try something else. I started Grot. But now I'm much more interested in my bankruptcy.
How can our viewers know if you're telling the truth now?
They don't. They may as well switch over to the horse knacker's daughter.
Thank you, Reginald Perrin. And now for a vexed and highly fascinating subject, the reorganisation
BBC
of...
Two. She's down to her brow already.
I told you, darling, he's always 22 minutes late.
Yes, well, in that case, he should be arriving now.
Morning, Jim. Oh, morning, Tony. How are our young marrieds today?
Oh, fine, Reggie, fine.
Good.
Mr. Perrin!
What on earth are you doing?
Sorry, Tony.
No, what are you doing, hitting Reggie like that?
Well, he kissed me, Tony.
Yes, I kissed her, Tony.
Yes, well, I don't mind.
Don't you mind?
Yeah, well, I expect you to do things like that, Reggie. I mean, you wouldn't be you if you didn't do things like that.
Yes, but I...
Anyway, look, I must rush. It's Panic City today. Rushed off our Feetsville. I just popped in to congratulate you on your TV appearances.
You don't think they were good, do you, Tony?
Good is not the word, Reggie. There is a word, and it's a word I don't throw about lightly, but on this occasion I've got to use it. Great.
God, the next thing we know, David Harris Jones will be walking through that door saying, "Oh, Reggie, you were super!" Oh, yeah. God. But how could you think I was good? I contradicted last night everything I said the previous night.
Exactly. And that bit about the bankruptcy. Great. Can't wait for tonight.
Good evening. Britain in Europe. This week we meet Reginald Perrin, one of the most fascinating men on the British shop scene. High street prankster or social visionary? Well, Europe will soon have a chance to find out. Mr. Perrin, your rapid growth brainchild, the rubbish chain Grot, is really beginning to move into the Hauptstrasses and Grande Rue, isn't it?
Ja and oui. But frankly, Peregrine, I am worried about the philosophical basis behind Grot. There seem to be serious contradictions inherent in the concept.
And you feel that this is relevant to Europe?
No.
But it's Europe we're interested in tonight.
You may be Peregrine, I am not.
Yes, but we are doing a series on Europe.
Hard luck.
Well, I mean, last week we discussed the success of the British washing up liquids. I mean, they're taking the Iberian Peninsula by storm.
Oh, they're cleaning up, are they?
Yes, they're washing up liquids, cleaning up is very good. But
Very good, excellent.
To get back to Europe,
Yes, yes.
have you made any marketing surveys on the continent?
Now, I'm glad you asked me that.
Well, perhaps you'd like to answer it then.
No, I would prefer to talk about my cruet sets with no holes. We say the purpose of a cruet set is for condiments to emerge when it is tilted, thus. But when we tilt this cruet set, it has no holes, therefore no condiments emerge. It is therefore useless.
Mr. Perrin, I am trying
Very trying.
to talk about Britain in Europe.
Frankly, Peregrine O'Bean, to date I have found your questions rather boring, but do try again. I'll try to find them more interesting.
Oh, well, have you learnt anything from the European operations of Marks and Spencer's, Woolworths and that ilk?
Good try, Peregrine. Still boring. It is therefore useless as a cruet set. But perhaps it is prettier than a cruet set with holes. Maybe it amuses people. What merry laughter will ring round the family dining table when short-sighted Uncle George endeavours to season his soup. It is therefore useful as a cruet set with no holes. We can now say of all other cruet sets with holes, what a ridiculous cruet set, it's full of holes. See, the salt and pepper emerge. What sort of a cruet set with no holes is that?
Let's get back to Europe,
Perhaps
please.
my quest for true uselessness is useless. Perhaps the pursuit of uselessness is the only truly useless thing.
Reginald Perrin, thank you.
However, have we finished?
Reggie!
Morning, Joan.
Morning, Mr. Perrin.
Did you see me on television last night?
Yes, I saw it, Mr. Perrin.
Yes, good. After that, not even David Harris Jones would have the barefaced cheek to poke his head round the door and say, "Super, Reggie." Oh. If one more person comes through that door and says I was good on television last night, I shall sack them. Come in.
I just had to come round and say it, Reggie.
Did you really, Doc?
Yes, I did. I'm an honest man, as you know, and I believe in speaking my mind.
Good, good. I welcome that.
Yes. I've seen every one of your TV appearances, and quite frankly, it had to be said.
Yes, Doc?
Wonderful. Somebody had to take those TV men down a peg or two.
Doc?
Yes?
Thank you.
Anytime.
Come in.
Oh,
Morning! Did you see Reggie?
On television last night?
Yes, I did. Wonderful! Reggie, I've got a bit of a problem, and it needs your immediate attention.
My immediate attention, certainly, CJ. Joan, take a letter with you. To the manager of the Grot Shop, Redford, dear sir. I am sorry to hear you have not yet received our supplies of edible furniture. This can only be due to the non-arrival of supplies. I am, however, deeply disturbed to hear you have not yet received our new range of dentures for pets, which are proving so popular with bloody silly idiots who put little doggy dentures in glasses of water beside the kennels, and even little budgie dentures in even smaller glasses of water beside their cages. I'm sorry, CJ, only that letter was not at all urgent.
Oh, Reggie. Well, I want to talk to you about the new Grot Shop in Hamburg.
Yes, good idea, CJ. So do I. Joan, take a letter, will you? To the manager of the Grot Shop, Ebervale, near Hamburg, Welsh, Wales. Dear sir, it has come to my notice that you've been serving Welsh people in your shop. I wouldn't have thought I had to tell you this. I want no more Welsh people served from now on. Yours, etc., Yaki Dot. Right. Have you got that, Joan?
Fine idea, Reggie.
What's that, CJ?
Not serving Welsh people. I didn't get where I am today by serving Welsh people.
Joan, tear that letter up.
Certainly, Mr. Perrin.
Reggie, have you now finished all your urgent letters?
Yes, thank you, CJ. I am all ears.
The Germans are insisting on calling the Hamburg shop Grot Fabriken Rubbish House. Yes. No, I didn't get where I am today.
By calling the new shop the
Grot Fabriken Rubbish House.
Certainly not, CJ. What a ludicrous name for a shop. Good, we'll call it that then. Splendid. Thank you for wasting my time, CJ. Good morning. You see, Joan, it is absolutely hopeless. I can't shock anybody, not even CJ.
Well, they all know you too well, Mr. Perrin.
Yes, I suppose that's it.
You've got to shock people you don't know.
Yes, I suppose the only people I could possibly shock are perfect strangers. Yes. Yes, come in.
Mr. Herbert.
A perfect stranger, if ever I saw one. Thank you, Joan. Come in, Mr. Herbert. Do come in. Come in. Ah, yes, of course, Mr. Herbert. Yes, yes, yes. You have applied for the job of our new northeastern sales area, haven't you? Do sit down, Mr. Herbert. Yes. Come on, Herbert. Sit down. I haven't got all day. Come on. Good. Right, you've got to get rid of that dandruff. You realise that?
Oh, yeah. I do have a slight dandruff problem.
Yes, you're in an ongoing dandruff situation.
Exactly.
Yes, well, there's a chap in Switzerland cures it in a fortnight.
Oh, really?
Very painful, of course. Starvation and electrodes.
Oh.
Yes, he stands you upside down, straps you down, passes an electric current through you. When the voltage reaches a certain height, your hair stands on end and all the dandruff just slides off.
Oh, dear. Is it absolutely necessary
Absolutely necessary. And what about your socks? They're dreadful. Have you no taste?
Well, they're a present from my aunt.
Answer one thing, commas is another, socks are two things.
I realise that.
And you don't, what is your name? Herbert, was it? Hubert? Hubert. Herbert? Right. Tell me, Hubert, you don't mind me insulting your leathers?
Well, you have a reputation for being a bit unusual. I think a genius has a right to be.
No, of course, I haven't got any right at all, Mr. Herbert. I do apologise. I have no right to be rude. Even if I were a genius, I have no right to be rude.
That's all right.
I'm sorry. No, I really am truly sorry.
Oh, there's really no need.
Please take the job. Please, you're a very, very personable, attractive, nice young man, and I'm sure you'll make a marvellous representative for the Northeast. Please, come to lunch. Would you like to come to lunch? Yes. And I like your socks, and I really do like you, Mr. Herbert. I promise you. And I really, honestly.
Oh, get away! I'm a happily married man. The things one has to do to get a job nowadays.
At last you've shocked someone, Mr. Perrin.
Yes, no, but I wanted to, and I tried to shock him. I couldn't. And when I apologised, put my arm around his shoulder, said he was good-looking, asked him to lunch, then he really was shocked.
Not surprised.
It's no good. I suppose can't shock, I suppose, if I went around pretending I was a bit... do you think that is? No, that wouldn't shock anybody these days, would it? I suppose it might be worth having a try, is it? Do you think so? Yes, all right. Yes, send for one of the managers of the grot shops. Yes, anyone will do.
Certainly, Mr. Perrin.
Right. John, there must be easier ways of disgracing myself than this. Is that him?
Yes.
Oh.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Mr. Lisbon. Hello.
Yes.
Do, please sit.
Thank you.
Well, drink.
Oh, that's very kind. Gin and bitter lemons, my tipple.
Oh, excellent. Like chaps who drink gin and bitter lemon. Well, I suppose you're wondering why I've asked you here.
Yes, I am, as a matter of fact, Mr. Perrin. Haven't done anything wrong, have I?
Not yet. It's Percy, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. My name's Reggie. Call me Reggie. Cheers.
Cheers, Reggie.
Oh, well, this is nice. These are the 70s, aren't they, Percy?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. The late 70s.
Yes.
Yes. Of course, they are nearer the 80s than the 60s.
Yes.
Absolutely. Taboos are breaking down. Certain practices once considered horrifying are now de rigueur in certain circles, aren't they?
Yes.
I'm a married man, but that doesn't prove anything, does it?
No.
Fight against it. God knows I fight against it. But I went to a boarding school, and that's all there is to it. There's nothing I can do. But there we go. I'm not making myself very clear, am I?
Yes, you are.
Am I?
Yes. You're suggesting...
Yes, I know. I'm sorry, Miss Lee. I'm sorry. I really don't know what came over Miss Lisbon. I'm dreadfully sorry, I really.
I'm not.
What?
I'm free any night next week.
Next week? No, next week's no, next month, I'm afraid. I've got to wait for it. And the month after... Oh, good God, is that the time? You must rush.
Look, I have a friend who lays on business orgies, if you're interested. I mean, it's very discreet. There's no risk of any scandal.
Ah, well, that's no good, yes. Bye-bye, Percy. What do you... Yeah, please. Bye.
Goodbye.
Are you all right, Mr. Perrin?
Only just. God, you certainly can't shock anybody these days, can you?
Except yourself.
Yes. Well, I'm not going to go, Joan. I'm going to make one last effort. One supreme effort. What? Yes. Yes, I know what I'll do. Evening, Fred.
Evening, Reg.
Hello, Tom.
Oh, evening, Reggie.
Like the other horse?
Yes, please. Thanks very much.
How are you, Mrs. Jackson?
Fine, thanks, Mr. Perrin.
Usual, Reggie? Cheers, Reggie.
Don't forget to come in to dinner tomorrow evening, Reggie.
Good evening,
There's only one way out. Darling,
Yes?
do you remember my going away, leaving my clothes on the beach and carrying on living, pretending to be somebody else?
Of course I do. It's not the sort of thing that happens every day.
No, of course not.
Why do you mention it?
No, nothing, darling. No, just conversation. Yes, you're right. It's not the sort of thing that usually happens once, let alone twice.
Oh, well, of course it wouldn't be likely to happen twice. Reggie, you're not thinking of going off again?
No, of course not. No. I realise, darling, my place is by your side.
Oh, good.
This time I want you to come as well. Please, darling, what does Grot matter? What does Perrin Products matter? What does the house, all these possessions matter? It's us that matters, darling.
Yes, but what about the family?
Oh, we'll see them, I promise. We can come back when it's all blown over. We can see them then.
Yes, but we can't just go off without saying goodbye.
No, of course not. No, we'll say goodbye, darling.
But if you say goodbye, they'll know what you're going to do.
Ah, yes, that's true. Yes, we better not say goodbye. Then we'll, yes, I know. We'll say hello. We'll have them all round and we'll say, hello. How's that? Darling, you're absolutely sure about going away now, darling. You really are.
Reggie, we've talked about it all night and all day.
Yes.
You have promised me that we'll see the family again one day.
Right.
You were determined to go, and you are more important to me than anything else. So I have told you that I am absolutely sure that I want to go. So please let's talk about it anymore.
Sorry, darling. Shan't say another word. Sorry. Absolutely sure, darling. You really are. Absolutely.
Reggie!
Yes, all right, sorry, darling. Sorry. I really don't deserve someone like you.
No, you don't.
Oh, they're here. Now, don't forget. Hello. Just come down to say hello. Hello. I'm just saying hello. Hello. Yes. Come in. Oh, hello. Oh, hello, Linda. Hello. Oh, hello.
Hello, Reggie.
Jimmy, hello.
Hello, Reggie.
Sit down, please. Sit down. All of us. Yes, come on, darling. Well, we asked you round here for rather a particular reason, didn't we? Didn't we, darling? Yes. We just wanted to say hello. Now that's out of the way. Now we can relax.
But, Dad, you said that the way most people say goodbye.
Did I really? Good Lord.
Well, in a sense, you see, it is goodbye.
Darling?
No, please, let me deal with it. You see, Reggie and I are going somewhere, and we just wanted to have you round just to say goodbye.
Where are you going?
Oh, well, we thought... Yes, where are we going, darling?
Woking.
Woking. Yes, we're going to Woking. Yes, that's right. Yes.
Why are you going to Woking?
Well, we just... where are we going to Woking, darling?
To the flower show.
Yes, that's it. We're going to Woking Flower Show.
Oh, to the flower
Yes,
show.
yes.
That'll be nice. When is it?
Mostly it's when is it, darling?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes, it's tomorrow, the flower show. That's
Well,
it, yes.
that'll be a nice day out, won't it?
I'm not a flower person.
Interesting chaps, flowers. If Hitler had bred pansies, there wouldn't have been a war.
So we thought we'd have you all round to say goodbye, just in case something happened to us on the way to Woking, and we didn't see any of you for quite a while, didn't
Yes,
we?
that's right, we did. There. Cheers. Cheers.
I'm not a champagne person, thank you.
Does blow you out a bit. Oh, thanks.
So, Linda, Tom, if, just for the sake of argument, if this was the last time we were going to see each other for quite a long time, which of course it isn't, because we're only going to Woking to the flower show for the flower, what would you like to say to us?
Thank you, Reggie, for giving me a job.
No.
Because working for you has made me happy, and I'm a happiness person. I'm only really happy when I'm happy. And that's given Linda and me a deeper contentment, hasn't it, Lindy Squirts? Hasn't it?
Oh, were you talking to me?
Well, of course I am.
Well, my name isn't Lindy Squirts, Tom.
It's a term of endearment, Squelchy Poos.
Well, it's a great pity you can't find other ways of showing your endearment.
Yes. Jolly good. Thank you. Jimmy, if we weren't seeing each other for quite a long time to come, which of course we are, because we're only going to Woking for the flower show. What would you like to say to us?
Well, actually, there's been a bit of a cock-up on the catering front.
It wasn't that, Jimmy.
No, really, I was just wondering if there are a few scraps, just a few scraps for breakfast.
Yes. Well, if this was the last time we were all going to meet together, which of course it isn't, because as I say, we're only going for the afternoon to the flower show working, I would like to say thank you, everybody, for everything. Thank you, Jimmy, for what? For everything. Thank you, Linda, for being such a nice daughter. Thank you, Tom, for being married to such a nice daughter. I really mean that. I've enjoyed the times we've had together, and if I thought we weren't going to see each other again for a long time, which of course we aren't, because we are going to be working for it. That's what I'd like to say. But as we aren't, I won't.
Since we're all being so formal,
yes.
Let's say goodbye finally.
Yes.
Just in case something happens to us on the way to Woking.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Yes. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Now on, we're going to be equal partners. After all, I did marry you twice.
I think this was about the spot last time. Goodbye, old Reggie's clothes. Goodbye, old Reggie.
Goodbye, old Elizabeth's clothes. Goodbye, old Elizabeth.
Name.
Mr. and Mrs. Cliff.
Mr. and Mrs. Sunrise?
Mr. and Mrs. Oliver Cromwell.
Mr. and Mrs. Nathaniel Gutbucket.
Names don't matter.
No, that's why they're so hard to choose. Now, if we can find a suitable name from something we can see down there, we'll be happy ever afterwards.
I'm frightened. Mr. and Mrs. Tin Can.
Mr. and Mrs. Dead Thrush.
Mr. and Mrs. Slug.
Mr. and Mrs. Rabbit Droppings.
Mr. and Mrs. Gossamer.
Shall we rest for a moment, Mrs. Gossamer?
Why not, Mr. Gossamer?
It's a good morning for starting a new life. The sun glinting on the oil slick. Coaster making too much smoke. On that ship at this very moment, ignorant of us here, a sweaty chef with a dirty vest and great clumps of red hairs under his arm, is serving greasy bacon and egg to queasy customers who... Oh, good morning.
Yeah, 10p for a cup of tea, Gov?
Yes, of course.
Here, Tiger. I didn't get where I am today without asking for 10p for a cup of tea,
Darling, look. You see, darling, it's catching on. Everybody's doing it.